Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So I had a recent question wherein somebody had asked me what happens when a succulent gets too much of direct sunlight. Now guys, it all depends upon what variety of succulent you have. Not all of the succulents are going to react the same way, because again, when you tend to look at this varieties of succulents that we have different colors over here. We have purple, we have light blue, red, orange, green, kind of light green. This is not stressed right now, it will get stressed. It is avocado cream, haworthia avocado cream. It gets a lot red in color, but right now because of the monsoon season, growing season, the color is gone off. Probably the colors will come back during the winters. Then we have a haworthia over here. Whereas in this bunch, these are the two succulents that can handle a little bit more sunlight. Let's say they can even handle afternoon direct sunlight. But again guys, to be on the safer side, please don't put them out in afternoon sunlight. I'm just saying that they have the capacity to kind of withstand in afternoon sunlight as well. Whereas my sedum adolphi is in afternoon direct sunlight. It gets direct sunlight, afternoon direct sunlight until 2 p.m. in the afternoon, because the plant has been acclimated over the years and it can withstand even in afternoon direct sunlight. I cannot do the same to others. You can see this one. If I'm going to put it in afternoon direct sunlight, within couple of days itself, it will start getting burnt. Even though it is completely acclimated to direct sunlight, but it is not acclimated to afternoon direct sunlight. It is very difficult to acclimate your succulents to afternoon direct sunlight because that form of sunlight is very intense. It's very strong. I have my dusty rose, haworthia dusty rose. You can see it's doing extremely well. Beautiful coloration. But again, if I'm going to put this, even though it has this beautiful strong color, if I'm going to expose it to afternoon direct sunlight, there are going to be burns on the leaves, so we have to be extremely careful. So the maximum amount of sunlight, because I don't know, a lot of people tend to watch my videos from different countries, different continents, different locations. You know, you might have a very different kind of environment from mine in terms of the sunlight. Probably your afternoon sunlight might not be very intense, or maybe it's going to be even more intense than what afternoon sunlight I receive. So that's why in my videos I tend to give you a very in-between answer, a safe answer. So offer your succulents sunlight until 11 morning direct sunlight. That fulfills the criteria of 5 to 6 hours of morning direct sunlight. If you feel that your succulent can handle another 30 minutes on 1 hour of sunlight, you can do that. But again, this all depends upon you, because you would be in a better position to understand and judge your environment. I wouldn't be the right person to advise you that. But there are certain succulents like our aguides that need a good amount of light. And when I was taking out the pot, I just realized that it's also putting out a small little tiny pup, which is really exciting. As I've said this earlier as well, rubra is one of my favorite succulent, and you can see it's already starting to put out a pup. Separation won't be done right now because it's quite small. I'll have to wait for it to reach another 2 centimeters more, and then probably I'll separate it. Even the soil has kind of pushed down over the period of time. I did have a question why the succulent is little lower, because remember, I tend to use a very gritty loose soil mix. When I tend to top it up, it looks like the pot is full of soil, but the moment I start watering it over the period of time, the soil starts to settle down because there is a lot of air pockets in between. That's the meaning of having a very porous soil mix. So that is one of the case. My sedum adolphi is doing fantastic. You can see it's doing extremely well. Very beautiful stress colors. And now if I'm going to talk about haworthia, I definitely cannot offer haworthia any direct sunlight. It will get burnt. Now, the burn on haworthias are very different. It is not like how we tend to see burns on our haworthias or on our graptovarias. The burns in this, you won't find spots of burn, but the entire succulent will start to turn chocolate brown in color. The moment it turns chocolate brown in color, it is an indication that your plant is getting stressed. It does not like that direct sunlight. You have to move it. Haworthia limifolia is not supposed to be brown in color. It's supposed to be dark green in color. That is a healthy form of your haworthia limifolia. I think they have changed the name from haworthia. I'll put up the scientific new name that they have given to this plant. So, and then I have my haworthia avocado cream. Again, you can see it's completely green, but you can see the edges. This is what it turns into, more intense red, almost like it starts getting the red of what a rubra has, but it is, or I would say it's more like orange reddish color. I don't know if I can find a picture. I'll put it up on the screen so you can get a better idea of how a stressed Echeveria avocado cream tends to look like. It's an absolutely beautiful succulent. There was a time that I was running around to get hold of this plant because it looks absolutely beautiful when it tends to stress. Probably in winters I can give you a better look or better idea of this succulent. Any which ways, I'm going to put up the image so you can get a fair idea. So that's what it is, guys. It's all about the balanced amount of sunlight. Don't do it too much. Just because succulents need a lot of direct sunlight doesn't mean that you're going to blast them with a lot of direct sunlight, especially the afternoon sunlight. That will further damage your plant. Apart from that, if let's say that if your plant has survived the afternoon direct sunlight, there is a high possibility that the plant is going to get dehydrated at a much faster rate, because again, afternoon sunlight is very, very intense. Also, what I wanted to show you was my Echeveria dusty rose. It looks a lot like PVN, but it is not PVN. They look very similar, but the shape of the leaves are very different of a dusty rose. And here you can see my dusty rose is also starting to put out pups. We have 2 pups on the base. Looks absolutely beautiful. I want to separate them, but again, I'm going to wait because I think it might happen to rain anytime and I do not want to take a chance. Now, there was another issue with my dusty rose. Initially, it was not getting a lot of light. That's why you can see it is not in a very uniformed shape. This is not how it's supposed to look like. I'll put up the image of how a dusty rose should look like with a good amount of balanced watering, balanced lighting, everything. But over here you can see mine is not in a best shape. But now that I started offering it a good amount of direct sunlight after acclimating it, you can see the new growth is looking much more better. If I'm just going to show you this portion, you can see it looks absolutely beautiful. Very compact leaves. Very uniform leaves and in this portion, but if I'm going to take it out, this is where it was not getting a proper lighting. Apart from that, there was a mealybug infestation. Whenever there is a mealybug infestation on the crown area, it tends to destroy the leaves, the shape of the leaves. It doesn't destroy the leaf completely, but it spoils the shape of the leaf. And you can see this is the perfect example. I don't know if it's going to be visible, so you can see this. The leaves are not formed properly, and that was because it was affected with mealybugs on the crown area. Here as well, you can see this is supposed to be a large leaf, but you can see how tiny the leaf is. Let me on the light so you can see. There we go. Now you'll be able to see it better. You can see the leaf, it's quite deformed. There's another leaf over here. You can see it's quite deformed, not doing quite well. The lower leaves. So that section is where there was a bad infestation of mealybugs, due to which the leaves were completely damaged. And now you can see the new leaves that are coming up are doing quite well because there is no infestation of mealybugs. So that is another issue with mealybugs. That's what they tend to do. They kind of damage or they kind of deform the leaves as and when the new leaves tend to come out. So always do a watch out on your succulents. Other than that, the plant is doing extremely well, a good amount of pups. So guys, that's all about it. I will quickly end up the video because it is about to rain. You can see, you can hear the wind. It is getting really bad. So I will end this video over here. I hope that this video was helpful to you. I'll quickly give you a look of how the rains tend to look like. It's already very dark. So let me just switch the camera. It's about to rain. Very windy. So that's all about it, guys. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.